First of all, I'll say good evening to everyone. At this point, I'd like to read out from the study session. The City Council voted 5-0 to appoint Laura Thomas as the manager for the Human Resource Department, and also the city settled the matter of Crunch versus Baldwin Park for $5,000. All right, so at this point, I don't have anything else to report. At this point, I'd like to move for adjournment of the study session. Second. Any objections? See none, so move. Before I open up the City Council, I want to thank staff. They figured out the problem, even though we have a backup to the backup of the speaker. From my understanding, it was a $60 problem versus a $60,000 bill. So that's the one. I want to thank each and every one of you for that hard work there. At this point, I'd like to open up the Baldwin Park City Council special meeting, August 2nd, 2017. The time is 7:10. At this point, we'll ask our chaplain, Pastor Jackson. Is he present?
But they're not.
Oh, yes, he is right back here. If you could lead us in an invocation, followed by the flag salute. So I will ask all those that are able to stand to please do so. Thank you. Good evening.
Heavenly Father, we come before you in the name of the Lord, giving you praise, glory, and honor, and thanksgiving. Thank you, Lord, for Baldwin Park. Thank you for the mayor, city council, that are putting things together to make it a great city, Lord God. You said to acknowledge you in all of our ways, and you would direct our path. And we need your divine direction for the furtherment of Baldwin Park. Our police department need your wisdom and knowledge and understanding as they are out in the streets serving to protect the community. Our school district, Lord, there's so much that's going on around this nation with drugs and alcohol and this new thing that's leaving it wide open called marijuana. But we're asking you to protect our children from these things, Lord, and our teachers that will teach them the tragedy of using those drugs. Our fire department, Lord, we've had rolling fires here, and we need them, and we're asking you to protect them as well. Our businesses, Lord, that the business in Baldwin Park will flourish, Lord God, and people will come out of the city, into the city, to visit our businesses. And I thank you, Lord, for our churches. Our churches are coming together in unity. The City Council coming together in unity. The Baldwin Park Police Department coming together in unity. And when we do come together in unity, you pronounce blessings from above, and that's what we need. Thank you, Lord.
Amen. Thank you very much. At this point, we'll face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and good evening to everyone. At this point, I will have City Treasurer Maria Contreras lead us in the attendance, also Alejandra Avila. So at this point, roll call. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Buenos noches a todos y bienvenidos. Councilmember Cruz Baca.
Here.
Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Susan Rubio.
Present.
Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Present. Thank you very much. Before we go on to the presentation that we have, I want to first of all recognize and thank the Baldwin Park Police Department, as well as the Baldwin Park Unified School District, California Highway Patrol, and also the Fire Department for the great and the phenomenal event that took place last night. I think it was a lot bigger than last year, actually, the National Night Out. So thank you. It was hot, it was humid, but we made it. So I want to thank each and every one of you for a phenomenal job. Thank you.
Mayor, may
Yes.
I add?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead. Yeah, they deserve it. I just want to add, because, the police did such a wonderful job. It was our biggest one yet, but we had a lot more partners, and I want to make sure that they get thanked as well. the school district came in a big way and helped set up and break things down from what I understand, tables, chairs, and everything else that they provided. But we had vendors such as La Cocinita Restaurant donate bikes. We had a bicycle shop on Ramona. I think it's called, someone remind me, Jim's Bicycle. They also donated bikes. So we gave out a lot of bicycles. We also had all the churches present, including Pastor Jackson, New Beginnings. There was a lot of collaboration and a lot of backpacks. A lot of them gave out 100 backpacks. I think we gave out 500. Plus all the hot dogs. I think someone donated the hot dogs, the water. It just goes on and on. So we want to thank everyone that participated and donated. And the children were so happy, and they went home extremely joyful because of the gifts that you provided. So thank you very much.
Mayor, if I
Thank
could
you.
just
Yes, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco.
also give my thanks to the police department and the POA, our chief. Wonderful job, a large number of representation. I know the highway patrol was there, and of course, as Councilwoman Rubio said, the Baldwin Park School police was there, and just a lot of collaboration, a lot of goodwill for the community that was out there. So I just want to thank you guys for doing a wonderful job, our police department, all our officers for doing a great job and being there. And also, as Susan mentioned, La Cocinita, the owners are here. Jerry and his wife are sitting here, so I want to thank you for your support out there in the community. And also, don't forget, it came out on the newspaper, we have our 5K run this Saturday.
That's right.
And it's a lot of representation will be out there. A lot of constituents will be out there running. I think there's a $1,000 award if you beat Mayor Lozano on the 5K run, right? There you go. Okay, thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
I just want to echo what they said. It was such an incredible evening. We walked in the rain, even though I cheated with an umbrella for a little bit. But I said, the heck with it. I'll just get wet like everybody else. But I want to share the impact. The school district donated 500 backpacks.
Wow.
So that's, and we also had another business that donated 100, Lakeside, which is Danny Damien's company, donated 100 backpacks as well. So it's the impact of everybody and the collaboration of everybody working collectively. The churches, the school district, our PD, our residents, the businesses. Thank you so very much, La Cocinita, like they said, and some of the other businesses, Royal Coaches came out with one of their towing vehicles, and Jan's. It was just phenomenal, and I just want to say thank you very much to our staff as well that helped put this on and work real hard in such heat that we had yesterday, and the humidity was intense. So thank you, everybody. It was a lot of fun.
All right, thank
Mayor.
you. Yes, Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Thank you. Yes, I also want to take the opportunity to thank our police department and fire department. Yesterday, there was a disoriented elderly man in the neighborhood who clearly he needed assistance. And so, was there when the police and fire responded. And we're so good to him. And I know with the heat being I think it was nearly 102 degrees at some point, I'm sure that this was not an isolated incident, and there are different incidents happening across our community. So just want to thank our police and fire for, the service to our community, not just at National Night Out, but, the calls that they get day in and day out. So I wanted to recognize and say thank you.
Thank you. I also want to thank and acknowledge Chief Enriquez that's here this evening as well. Thank you very much. All
Mayor,
right.
may I say
Yes,
something?
Absolutely, yes.
I also want to chime in and thank everybody that participated yesterday. It was amazing. Everybody that donated, everybody that actually was behind the scenes working, putting everything together. I actually happened to walk to the school, go to the school district during the day. You had the secretaries, the custodians loading those backpacks. They were sweating, you would not believe. But you had the whole district come out of their office and actually participating, getting ready for that event. And I know all of our city personnel was doing the same thing. So thank you to everybody.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for that. All right, anyone else wishing to share anything? All right. If
Mayor,
not- yes.
I do want to make
ahead.
a request. I understand, and I'm not sure if this is confirmed, but I've heard through the grapevine that Father Jonathan at St. John's Church may be leaving our community. Oh, and I really want us to reach out to him and ask him to come to a city council meeting or a special event so that we can recognize him. He was such a wonderful presence in the community, always encouraging, always very positive, And I'd love to have the opportunity to recognize him for his service here in the community. So if we can have our city staff reach out somehow and, find him, track him down, and invite him here, that would be wonderful.
All right, thank
Mayor?
you.
Mayor, if I could,
Yes, Councilman.
August 13th, there's another event that he'll be recognized, if we can go there. But if you'd like, we could also invite him to maybe the concerts in the park and
Yeah.
maybe
I would
recognize
say,
him there.
yeah,
Would that be
concerts in
good?
the park, city council, whatever
Yeah.
you think is appropriate.
Okay,
Mayor?
so please, all of you just note, August 13th is the next event, and I'll get emails out to you guys so you remember. Thank you.
Is August 13th regarding the church?
Well, it's for Father John. They're having another sort of event for him.
Yeah, I'd
day.
like to invite him to a city event.
Okay,
where we
sure.
can recognize him.
All right, to this one,
Absolutely.
Councilman
I'm for
Cruz
that.
Baca.
Yes, we did have a really nice, he did give mass at 1 o'clock this past Sunday, and Councilmember Rubio and myself attended, or Vice Mayor Rubio. And they also had a really nice reception for him after, where everybody got his last blessing, I guess, in a sense. And he will be going on to, he was given an incredible position by Archbishop Gomez to be at the seminary and to sort of guide seminarians that are coming in and sort of help them in guiding and letting them know what it's like to be a priest. So, yes, he will be missed, but we did celebrate this past weekend. Thank you.
All right, thank
There
you.
were like 200 visitors just to go see him go, so he really made an impact. And he was only here 2 years, correct? But thank you for bringing that up.
All righty. Okay, at this point, we have the presentation, the recognition, excuse me? Yes, Marie, go ahead.
Mayor, I just want to say, if anybody found a pair of glasses, I lost them between the third floor and here.
Oh, Lord,
Now
okay.
I'm blind.
And that's usually me, so, okay.
And another thing is, I want to wish Councilmember Cruz Baca a happy birthday. I know it's a week away from yesterday. I won't be here. I will be like to be excused also. I won't be here the next council meeting. I'm going to Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico to celebrate my aunt's 89th birthday.
All right, so we'll sing happy birthday to Councilmember Cruz Baca
Wait
at
a
the end.
minute. We have another birthday.
At the ending, go ahead.
Robert Tifoy, our legal counsel, his birthday was yesterday as well. He doesn't say much, but yeah, he had a birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, legal counsel. All righty. All right, very good. So something to be happy about today. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go to the first proclamation, which is recognition of completion of the Ballpark Monument located on Ballpark Boulevard at the I-10 freeway. So who are we presenting this? Are they here?
Yeah, that's my item. Yeah, I'd like to invite Refugio Dominguez from Caltrans District 7.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And also, I would like to invite Valerie Hardman and Dave Lewis from Outdoor Dimensions. They were the contractor on the project.
Right, so
I do want to say that with the assistance of Refugio, the city was able to partner with Caltrans. Refugio was instrumental in putting together what Caltrans calls a minor B project, which covered all construction costs for the monument. Outdoor Dimensions has been with us since the beginning. They helped us prepare the design and the plans, and they're here to be recognized for appreciation.
I would like to say a few words.
Sure.
Thank you for that recognition on behalf of all the Caltrans staff. And I also want to say thanks to Sam Gutierrez and David Lopez. We met during the design phase to make sure that what's out there was really shown on the plan. So thank you also for your efforts. And I just want to say that I guess if we communicate, we work together, we can complete a lot of special assignments. So working together as a partners, it helps a lot.
Thank you.
all right.
Oh, I saw.
Okay. All right. Just go ahead.
Had a little something also I wrote. It's a song. No, just kidding.
Jets. Okay.
I just really want to say on behalf of my whole company and David, who was participating on this, just to acknowledge what an adventure it was to start from day one 2 years ago and really starting with just drawings and things and then seeing it come to fruition as it is. The partnership with Caltrans and with the city, we're just so honored and grateful to have had this opportunity, and It was an amazing experience for our company and our team to be part of this and to work together in such a collaborative manner. And so we just are very, very thankful and wanted to thank all of you and Caltrans as well for just a wonderful experience. And we're hopeful that we'll be able to do more with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to recognize, of course, the Caltrans and the private sector collaborating together, and what a tremendous job you made for us. And a lot of positive comments as well. Had an opportunity to go down there and look at it and inspect it myself as well. So why don't you come on up here so we get a photo with everyone. And we're also presenting these certificates, am I correct? So Caltrans District 7, as well as the outdoor dimensions. Where's Carrillo at? Oh, Carrillo.
Oh, no. Oh, you mean for the photo?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Carrillo, don't. Hi, how are you? Pleasure. Thank you very much. We're going to take a picture over here. Oh.
Thank you. Thank you for your partnership.
Pleasure. Thank you
so much.
Pleasure. Okay.
Thank
Your company's Dimension, am I correct?
Outdoor Dimensions.
Oh, Outdoor Dimension, excuse me.
Yes.
That's yours.
Ah,
Thank you.
thank you.
And the
Thank you,
Caltrans?
Yes.
All righty.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is, sir?
Yeah, come
Oh, where's Santa? What's-
on. Right there. Come on, the first Sam. Come on, guys.
Here, here.
Yes.
Thank you. Get Santa in
All right.
here. Get a little bit closer. Yeah, I like Manny's glasses. Pictures? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you so very much.
Sam, that's your next assignment. No, I'm just-
Okay, gracias. Thank you, guys. Okay, so. Oh, here, let me sign it right now. Thank you. Thank you.
We have 3 presentations.
Caltrans. All right. All right. All right, we just informed also that Veronica Lopez, representing State Assembly Member Blanca Rubio, will be doing a presentation. Is this for? Oh, yes, then come on up.
Oh.
Yes. All right, let's bring up this.
Well,
Is this for the?
I just accepted on.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, I see. For the city, okay.
For the funding for the park.
Yes.
But this one's for the.
We did that already. We recognized it last time. Oh, it sounded good. How did it? Hey, Beto, how are you? Come on up here.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Veronica Lopez, representing Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio of the 48th Assembly District. And I'm here with honor to present the City of Baldwin Park with a certificate of recognition for completion of the City of Baldwin Park's monument located on the I-10 freeway off Baldwin Park Boulevard. The monument stands tall and symbolizes that Baldwin Park is the pride of the valley.
Awesome.
Congratulations on this great achievement, dated August 2nd, 2017, signed Blanca Rubio. Latin, right? He knows
He's
the
got
Latin.
you got this one over here, man. Sorry about that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Or Manny. Thank you.
Well, you can put it on his resume
Thank
as
you.
a professional photographer.
Yeah, that's right. Manny, could add to your resume. Oh, yeah. Veronica, stay here, please. Because the next one that we have also is the presentation. Recognition of Assembly Member Blanca Rubio and state grant funding for Morgan Park and Walnut Creek Park in the amount of $1,017,000. So thank you very much for our state assembly. We're going to have to invite you to one of our events on Main Street unless you can make it to our concert next week or tomorrow. So are we giving her? Okay, then we'll set something so that she could join us so that we could present her in front of the general public because it's important for us.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, I think you can make it the next weekend. No. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the presentations and everyone as well that participated. At this point, I'd like to open up the public communication, so anyone wishing to speak.
Don't we have,
Oh.
we have a third one?
That's right. I did have one more, sorry about that. Presentation by Marco Chapman, representative of the Conner Energy regarding the community energy choice aggregation. So thank you. Good evening. Sorry about that.
No problem. Good evening, Mayor, council
Yes,
members, city manager, city staff. We've got together a presentation here that I'd like to provide for you and just give you a quick brief update. This is a continuation of our last update here regarding the establishment of a community choice aggregation here for the city of Baldwin Park. And just briefly, I'll run through these comparisons. This is a summary of our discussions that I've had with city manager and community development director. Before you today, we have a comparison of some of the differences between the California Choice Energy Authority and the Los Angeles Community Choice. You want me to stand a little closer? Of course. And just briefly to kind of touch on this, there was also mention at the last council meeting, is there another third option available to the city of Baldwin Park? We've done some extensive search, and we did find the South Bay Clean Energy Program, which may have been considered that third option. I've spent about an hour on the phone call with them. They expect to be established by middle of next year and to potentially be an option. Their JPA is not established as of this time. So while there may be a third option coming available soon, at this time it's not available. So from our discussion with city manager and city staff, the two that are available to the city of Baldwin Park today that I'll be sharing with you are the California Choice Energy Authority and the LA County program. Just briefly here, again, this is just a comparison of these two agencies. First off of how they're established, CCEA, the California Choice Energy Authority, it assists the city on establishing the community choice at the city level. So this is the citywide community choice. If the city were in the future ever deciding to bring on its own staff and work its own community choice aggregation, they'll have the opportunity to do so. LA County's program, you simply opt into a program they've established. So the big difference is you join their program that's already established and run by LA County, or this is where actually we help you design your own program here at the city. CCEA energy content. CCEA provides that we make sure that the CCA that is established will meet the minimum RPS or renewable portfolio standard requirements in California. Today, that's 25% renewable energy content, 33% by 2020, and 50% by 2030. Those are set by the state of California. The published structure released by LA County is 30, 50, and 100. What that means are residents and business owners will have the opportunity to buy power with 30% renewable content, up to 50% renewable content, or 100% renewable content. Typically, the 100% renewable content comes at a premium, meaning it's a higher cost than what's already at SCE rates. Another big difference here is the CCA revenue stream. At this time, the development would be that CCEA would support the city's CCA, and the revenue would come directly back annually, actually on a daily basis, to the city, Baldwin Park. LAJPA, there are no reimbursements for the city's development of the program, and as of right now, I think it's promoted there's a 5% savings, but the revenues are not coming back to the city. Another key point here is regarding rate tariff setting. Essentially, when you establish your own CCA, the city of Baldwin Park will have the opportunity to create tariffs. So if you wanted to incentivize certain businesses, industries, whether it be nonprofits, your school districts, you'll be able to help and adjust and set those rates regarding the energy that you sell as a CCA. That's because you've established your own CCA. Under the JPA structure, those rates and tariffs are set by LA County. Again, you'll opt in. You can vote, and I'll share that here with another slide here, but essentially you would not have that. It'll be established at the JPA level. Operation date. The CCA has been operating since 2015. They've successfully been running the Lancaster Choice Energy Program since that date. The dates that are published for LA County's program is that it's not operational yet. Phase 1 is looking to start in 2018, and the first phase is about 2,000 accounts, which will include just the LA County facilities, expanding a little bit more of LA County facilities by middle of 2018, and then phase 3 bringing on the bulk of the work, and that's about 1.5 million accounts by January 2019. So that's kind of the timeline that LA County has published regarding the rollout of their program. This is a question on reserve policy. This is actually was through discussions between the city manager and even the San Gabriel Valley COG had said, what are the reserve policy decisions regarding the CCA? The CCA would help set guidelines that we'd recommend. We do that for what we've done for Lancaster, what we're doing for Pico Rivera, which will be launching in a month, and San Jacinto as well. Essentially, we will be setting your savings at about 3%, and we'll say, here's your baseline savings for business owners, property owners, here's 3%, and then here's what's left over that's available for the city for its energy program. That's how the CCA structure is set. However, the city would have ultimate authority to change and adjust that however the city felt its need to match its needs of this community. Under the JPA that's being promoted by the LA County, those reserve policies are set by LA County. So again, you don't have any involvement because there's no risk. So they've established it, it's set by them, and monitored and managed by them. This question also came up through the San Gabriel Valley COG. How much staff would be required? And again, we wanted to put this in a slide to share with you. Neither program, what we've determined, would have any impact on city staff. So the city would be as little or as committed as you'd like. Both the CCEA and LA County both have staff that would be willing to assist in the support of either of your CCA programs. So we just wanted to share that with you as well. And those are all the highlight points, and we're available to answer any questions for you regarding any of the differences. And again, we'll continue to work with staff on helping to bring these answers and continue to explore this opportunity for the City of Baldwin Park.
I have a quick question. How long did you say Pico Rivera has been working with you?
We've been in development for about a little over a year, or a little bit longer than that.
So they already actually implemented the program. It's already
yeah. So they've already, so essentially that process, they've done a technical study. They've already filed with the CPUC. They are now approved for a CCA. So beginning September 1, those accounts will no longer be serviced by SCE. They'll actually be serviced by the City of Pico Rivera. And
I'm sorry, what was that acronym that you said they came up with? I thought that was pretty clever. I was trying to remember what it was. What?
It's PRIME. So it's Pico Rivera Innovative Municipal Energy. It's their PRIME program. And again, everyone has their own acronym for these CCAs that have launched, whether it's Lancaster Choice Energy, Marin Clean Energy, I believe it is. So they've got lots of different acronyms for this, but PRIME was what they came up with, and that's the name for that program.
Real quickly, so you're saying that there has to be a study initially, correct? Who pays for that study? Do you participate with our staff, or how does that work?
Correct. So the city would pay for the study to be done. The study would become property of the city. At the end of the study, it's not just a study. It actually would include filing to the CPUC and establishing your CCA, all the resolutions, ordinances, everything to establish. So at the end of the day, you would have an established CCA at the end of your technical study.
Can you give us a sense of what that cost will look like?
Yes, it's we've submitted the general proposal, but it's about $63,000 for the entire study. It's built in attaining the energy data from SCE, analyzing that data, and then sharing that data, the energy load is what we call it, and breaking it down for the city to say this is how much energy load is, and this is the revenue based on what it would cost to procure the energy to support that energy load.
Thank you, Mayor.
Of course.
Mayor? Yes, Councilman Cruz Baca.
I brought up the last time you said that SCE would still take care of all our I guess, all the repairs and bringing the power in and so forth. How does SCE get paid if we have our own energy company, in a sense?
Correct. So essentially, SE is not supposed to be making money on energy itself. They're supposed to, begin because they're investor-owned utility, they have published rates and stated interest that they're supposed to make for their shareholders. So they're not just supposed to be able to arbitrarily raise your rate and say, we want to make more money this year. So they have established rates with the CPUC. Those go for rate study cases. The energy is supposed to come at cost, and they're supposed to make their money on transmission, distribution, maintaining the lines, the infrastructure, and what they call demand servicing. So when you flip that switch, power is available. That's what SCE is their business is on their backbone. So truly, they're not supposed to be making money on the energy cost, but what we're doing is we're taking that one feature away from them and supplying it through the city. So it should not be, on paper, it should not be any different from affecting them financially, because they're not to be making money on the actual energy sales from what they do.
But who pays it? Is it a part of the bill when it's broken down? Because you had showed us a sample of what the bill would look like.
Sure.
So how does their maintenance, yes, how would that be paid? And it's because that's what it is, right? They're going to be maintaining?
Absolutely. So the other portions of the bill, if we looked at it, it would be transmission, distribution, generation, and demand charges. Of those four, the third one, the generation charge, which would now be replaced with Baldwin Park Energy. The transmission and distribution, where their maintenance costs, all of those rates that are built in there, those would still be the same, maintained, and those rates would include all of the SCE maintenance charges in the first two items. The third item would be solely responsible from the procurement costs of energy from the city of Baldwin Park. So that's the only one that would change, but all of those maintenance costs you described would be in the transmission distribution line items above in the other portions of their bill.
So we would be responsible for paying SCE? Is that what you're saying, for the maintenance?
No, so we would be responsible for supplying power to, basically we'd be putting it into the grid, and we'd basically be supplying power for all the properties within the city of Baldwin Park. And for that, we would charge a rate. We would tell SCE, this is the rate to charge. They would put it on the bill, send the bills out to the property owners, and the property owners would get the same bill that they normally get. It'll just have one new read item, which will say Baldwin Park Energy. They would pay their bill to Edison. Edison would transmit that portion, which would be Baldwin Park Energy, back over to Baldwin Park on a daily basis, and that would flow back.
Now, thank you.
Of course.
Let me ask you a question. So will the CCEA be preparing all the legal documents?
Would they?
Will they be preparing the legal documents?
Absolutely. So the CCEA already has Braun Blazensmith, who represents all the energy, the CPUC support. All the legal documents will be submitted here to the city attorney's review, and they already have them prepared. It's in a package available for the city to review. Absolutely.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Yes,
Mayor.
yes, absolutely. All right,
Mayor.
Vice Mayor. Yes, sorry about that. Yes.
Can you give me a sense of the studies? How long does it take? If you can go back to Pico Rivera, one of the other studies, from beginning to ending, what did that look like? What did the time entail?
Sure. The longest time frame, I'll tell you, is the procurement of energy from SCE. So on the very onset, we need to understand what the total aggregate load is for Edison, meaning we want to know how much the residential property owners' energy load is, the business owners, the nonprofits, the schools. That breakdown and requesting that from Edison has taken as long as 10 plus weeks. So that's our heaviest lead time. The development time after that, it's only a few weeks just to actually procure that development and the data behind that. And I think on the last slide that we had, and if you'd like, I can kind of show you some of the steps. But essentially, that's our biggest time killer, is just getting the data from SCE, which can take literally a few months even. If we can get that or request that in advance, we can shorten that time much sooner than we'd like. But reviewing the data and getting at least the financial data back to the city doesn't take much time once we have the data from SCE. But typically, our experiences is taken up to 10 weeks to get the data from SCE once we've requested it.
So there's no way that SCE can reject any city, right? This is something that they have no control over?
No. So they would not be able to reject it. But we do know they do take a long time to give us the data, for sure. But state law requires them to be able to have this data available to the city. And so they will have to honor the request. Now, they do have a charge. They can charge for their time, and we've seen anywhere from $800 up to $1,200 that they've charged for their staff time to go and pull and get the data. So there is a nominal charge that SCE may charge to actually at the request at this time of the data, but we've actually accounted for that in the study as well.
Do you guys ever provide outreach for communities to understand it better, like presentations where you take it out and make sure that you explain it?
Absolutely.
Rather than the city explaining it?
Absolutely. And in part of the implementation process, once we get to that point, there's a requirement that we have certain flyers and mailings that go out with the bill. So those will go out at least 4 times a year. We'll actually be able to host certain events at the city's request to actually promote and push the energy program. And again, the reason why Pico Rivera, as you mentioned, Prime, they wanted to have that face to the community as this is our energy program, this is what it's going to do. So depending on what the city would like to see, we'd be here to support the city in their efforts.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. This is Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Yeah, but first of all, we are looking at options, and I only see one representative here, so I think it's good for us as we study this to also include the county so that we are thoroughly, informed. And I appreciate you giving the comparisons. That was very helpful. I understand that Pico Rivera took about a year to understand this issue and more than a year to implement this. And so, my question is, what would you see the process for us really, going in depth in the issue so that we thoroughly understand this? I think we need to understand this before we even take it out to the community because, it's kind of premature. But we need to understand the benefits, as you pointed out, which they sound great. But then we also need to understand the risks. And one of my questions would be, what would be the risk of waiting to see how, Pico Rivera and is it Lancaster, how they fare with this JPA? What would be the risk of, if it took Pico Rivera about a year, I would anticipate it would take us about that same time.
Sure.
So, what do you see the risks?
Sure. And just to share with you, Lancaster's program is operational to date, and it has been since 2015. So we've had 2 years of good history under this JPA managing a CCA in Edison territory. And for the past 2 years, it was the only CCA that was operating in Edison territory. So not LA County or anyone else has that experience of actually managing and running this JPA. As I think I mentioned before, it's now the largest fund at the city of Lancaster. It's about $40 million of energy fund, that's how much they buy in energy on an annual basis. And about 10% of that comes back to the city as far as their energy fund to make improvements. So they've done their clean natural gas improvements, the charging stations around the city hall, and lots of other energy improvements that the city of Lancaster has done with their fund so far to date. So I can tell you of bits and pieces. Pico Rivera, they have been at this for a good year and a half. We'd expect that same timetable. We always tell folks about 12 to 18 months to fully get through the CPUC process. They've got 90 days to accept your, basically certify or stamp on your proposal that gets submitted. They usually take the full 90 days. Not that they need to, but they usually always do. So again, we have a process, a timeline. You will expect about 12 to 18 months to get through this. The good news of what you mentioned is that technical study, it does give you a lot more information than you would get by simply saying, well, we'll take the LA County or we'll do this program. What you get is you actually understand what the value, quantify in dollars, of what the CCA means to the city of Baldwin Park. So before you say we're going to take this program or we'll do this on our own or we'll go with this agency, you actually have a study that says this is what it costs us and this is the value of the CCA, and then you simply can make your decision, hey, it's now better for us to just take the LA County program, let's not, if we've already done this number. So this is the one program I say that the study is very critical for the city in making that decision that you mentioned.
Yeah, because we would want to look at the cost if we brought in any administrative support for, the CCEA, if that made sense, or we'd want to factor all of that in. So, for me, it's really about taking a really in-depth look. And I appreciate you being here to share the information. I think it'd be good for us if we're looking at both options to have somebody from the county here, talking about their program, so we really can weigh what is the best option for us. And of course, the CCEA, the benefit is that it shows, it seems like there's more ownership. And so that's a benefit, but I'd like to just be able to compare that, more in depth.
Absolutely, absolutely. We encourage it. So again, we've had an open and good dialogue between the Community Development Director, City Manager, and myself. This is some of the work that we wanted, again, from input we got from the SGV COG, from everyone here. This is our findings. So because LA County's program is not operational to date, they could change, but this is the findings as the best information is that we have today. So as things change, we'd be happy to give updates or continue working with the city to come to a resolution here.
Well, I have...
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to... Go ahead. Well, I was going to share that. It's really difficult to compare two industries when one is not operational because we don't see at least for me, I wouldn't know whether or not they would be able to get it off the ground. I mean, you need something that has a history of success. And the way I see it, you guys have been doing this 2 years already, so that means LA County is following your lead, I imagine, right? So, I mean, at this point, I would be more inclined to go with someone that has a history of success, that has been in business, that has a few cities under their belt versus someone that's just trying to find their way. So for me, that would be a concern, trying to compare to something that doesn't exist. But I have a question for you, because I know that you're saying there's a benefit to the city and the money comes back to the city. Has anybody ever explored the shared benefits? That means the city and the residents, somewhere where the residents benefit as well as the city?
Absolutely. So the model that we typically prepare, at least the recommended approach when we develop the model for you during the technical study, provides about a 3% savings across the board. So that would be for your residential, your business owners. So just by establishing the CCA, everybody wins. Their rates, energy rates, their generation cost goes down by about 3%. In addition to that, the city would then also, depending on how the study fared, you'd also have additional funds available for the city to make energy improvements, whether it's undergrounding utilities, whether it's buying your street lights and putting in LEDs, what have you. Those would be available, again, in addition to the 3% savings that go across the board for everyone in the city of Baldwin.
So that's business, industrial, anybody, that's
Everybody.
just across the board.
All service accounts. So that's literally everybody gets a win right off the bat as soon as it's established. In addition to managing your program, you also have an energy fund. So again, that can, if the city decided, and because you have control of your CCA, you can make that 4%. 2%, 5%. You can make that change.
So we still have that option to decide what that benefit is for our residents, correct?
Absolutely. That would still be done every year, and you can make that decision 100% by your city council. Again, it's not shared at a JPA level, so this would be something that you don't share. This would be all decisions for your CCA are made at your city council level.
Well, if no one has any more questions, because I want to just make a recommendation.
Councilman Cruz Baca, go ahead.
If I remember correctly, because I was at the COG meeting when I believe you were the one that gave the presentation, wasn't it there for the COG?
It may have been myself or Jason Cottle from the deputy city
I
manager
think
from
so.
Lancaster.
And the city of Azusa has been doing this, had their own energy for many years, if I remember correctly, right?
Azusa they have maybe working under SCAPA or its own energy, like Anaheim,
Yes,
Banning,
they do.
some other agencies, which is different from a community choice. So they basically run their own utility. They wouldn't qualify to do CCA if they run their own utility. This would be for cities that want to sell power that do not have their own municipal utility. So Anaheim or Azusa, Vernon, I believe a few agencies that have their own utility would not be allowed to do a CCA.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
But what I'm referring to is that it works for them, is what I'm saying, for them to have their own energy or utility company.
Right, and from what we know, there's been several early adopters of CCAs. All of them, all of them have very good track records. It's short tenure. It's not a great. You can't look back too far. We have one of the longest ones now, but certainly we haven't had anybody say that this CCA has not worked as of yet.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
So, Mayor, I was going to recommend, I think pretty much everyone had their questions answered. If I know we have a scheduled special meeting coming up shortly, if we can make room for him to stop by for 15 or so minutes. And I would like to see a sample of that bill, what that looks like. I want a breakdown of all the charges in that first phase of initially trying to figure out what the cost will be. And if you can bring a little packet that we can all have and have it tangible in front of us so we can have a more personal dialogue about it, I would love to invite you to that next council meeting.
Sure, and what could be shared is probably the feasibility study done for, say, Pico Rivera. Since we don't have your energy data, we wouldn't be able to share it, specifically to the city of Baldwin Park, but we certainly could review one that was done for another city. And as long as your load looks like theirs, that would be consistent to what your report would look like, if that's what you're
Yes, and a
referring to.
breakdown of the feasibility study, like what exactly, I want to see line by line, what does that entail, who do we need to start with, what department, everything. So again, this is a special meeting where we don't come here, but it's a smaller setting where we can ask you more questions if we have more
Sure, and
questions.
I'd welcome the opportunity to bring those reports and be available to you.
Mayor, would that be okay to add them to the
Vice Mayor, go
special
ahead.
meeting and include
that.
them in the next council meeting?
fine.
Okay.
Mayor, if I may.
I would ask
Yes.
that we have the county representative also.
All righty.
I know Pico Rivera will launch in September, correct, or October?
Correct. It's definitely right about the September timeframe is what we're looking to target for them.
Okay, and currently Lancaster has operated for several years.
Since 2015, correct.
Right, okay. So Pico Rivera will be launching late this year. And so, and of course you're encouraging other cities to consider this model.
Correct.
But I think that we also, in order to be fully informed on the issue, I think we need to hear, from the county programs to understand liabilities, costs associated, benefits, risks, again, just so that we're fully informed. And I mean, I think that the CCEA, it has its clear benefits. But again, I think if we're going to, this is a big decision, so
Absolutely.
we should be as informed as possible.
Agreed.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilman Cruz
If
Baca.
possible, I would also like to include for the residents to be able to ask any questions, because it is going to, and the businesses, this is also a part of what will affect them or impact them.
Right.
So if possible, I know that I'm asking for a lot of time, but I think it's only, I would like to have them participate.
Mayor?
That would be included in the special meeting as well. I'm sure we can set some time aside, correct, Shannon?
Yes, we're actually having a special meeting on the 7th and the 10th, and I think I heard you wanted August 10th.
Yeah, so just like Councilmember Vaca said, where usually the residents and businesses are invited to attend. Thank you.
And just so everybody's clear, I'm not sure if you touched on this, Michael, but so the residents will have a choice if the city adopts the program and they set rates that are typically 3% to 5% less than Edison. The residents and the businesses still have the choice to opt out and go back to Edison if they want to pay more on their utility bill for whatever reason, so they will have that choice.
Absolutely.
I have been following both of these programs very closely for some time, and I did just review Pico Rivera's report, and I know they're projecting that this revenue will pay about $250,000 towards overhead for city expenses. And I think they're projecting once they get started approximately $2 million a year in revenue.
$2 million a year, correct.
So Shannon, I'm sorry, can we do it the 7th? I just remember the 8th. I may not be available. Can we do it on the 7th? Because I know we have another meeting that day. Yes, let's include it on the 7th. Sorry for the change.
The 10th is the concerts too. So
yeah, so let's do it on the 7th. Thank you.
All right.
Excuse me,
Yes,
there was
go ahead.
one more, and I think you had mentioned that we can also give a discount or a lower rate to our residents and our businesses if we opt to.
If you opt to. That would be, again, that's 100% available with your CCA that's established.
Yes.
That is correct.
Thank you.
All righty. Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor,
Yes,
just want to make sure that,
Pacheco.
just so we know all the details, can you bring what you're proposing that day so we could look at it as a council, beforehand, and then begin to explore it
I'll bring
and have
the,
questions that are ready for you
Absolutely.
that day?
So I'll coordinate and just make sure that we have everything that's requested. I'll double check with Mr. City Manager, but at a minimum, we'll bring the proposal and the feasibility study for Pico Rivera for us to analyze and discuss on that.
Just one more request. I know you're going to bring it, but can you email it in advance so we can take some time to review it by the time we get to that meeting? Thank
Absolutely.
you.
I think we may already have those emailed up to the City Manager, but I'll email it separately for you to email as well.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right. I move now public communication. Anyone wishing to speak? Thank you. Al Contreras.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor,
evening,
members
sir.
of the council, public. Alfonso Contreras, resident of Baldwin Park, former employee of Southern California Edison. So I do have questions, but I couldn't ask them. I'm not sitting up there in front of you. On the rates for the red payers, is that set by the council, or is this part of the CC, whatever it's called, CCEA? Then you mentioned about 3% discount. I know in the days that some of the 3% you may get, Southern California Edison paid for undergrounding, what we used to call Rule 20A, Bs and Cs. So would that be coming off of your top because it's no longer going to be available by Southern California Edison? The low income rates, will that come out of your 3% that Southern California Edison proposes? That's just a couple of the questions. Now, another question that I have in another subject. On your consent calendar, I saw a couple of questions that I'm also been interested in. Is Caltrans or the City of Baldwin Park responsible for the right-hand lane turns going north and south on Merced and Puente? Because I know there was a lot of work going on, and on the right-hand side coming north or the right-hand side going south, they still show the arrow to turn right. Now there is a two-way sign going under the bridge. They have not been removed, at least have not been removed up until last weekend when I went Saturday and Sunday, and I keep on going, and I had to move over to go straight under the bridge. But I noticed we don't have to do that no more. The arrow in the ground shows you have to go right. There is a board there telling us to make a right-hand turn. We don't need to do that no more. So I would request, maybe if they have not been removed, I don't know if it's the City of Baldwin Park's responsibility or the City of Caltrans' responsibility. So please look into it because it's confusing everybody there, and I noticed that you have two claims. I have no idea what they're about. Also, if you go north, right as soon as you get out of the parking lot, our structure, if you keep on going straight on Bogart, the signal takes 2, 3, 4 minutes to turn green. I don't know if you guys have encountered it.
Yes, true.
My goal sometime once we get our landscaping done is confusing right here in Ramona. The signals need somehow down the line to be synchronized some way because sometimes we have a green light, but we can't move forward because they're being blocked. So it's kind of a bummer to be driving in Ramona Boulevard, and it takes me about 10 minutes to go from my house, which is the same area that our mayor travels, to the 605 freeway. I think it's ridiculous. So we need your help and your support.
All right.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
All right, thank you very much. Kim Milner with Public Communication.
And I will add Main Street. I've been complaining about Main Street too. And I don't know if you said that it's something we can do because the lights are not synchronized, so you're stopping every single block because the signals are not coordinated. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hello, City Council, residents of Baldwin Park. Ramona Boulevard, I think they call it the river of Baldwin Park. You guys got more sprinklers from the 605 down here to the end than I think the whole city of Baldwin Park has. Why we need so many sprinklers? You guys are, one of the two. The person over here doesn't know what he's doing, or you people, you're spending money left and right. What's the matter with you? How much money is this gentleman offering to put you in this program bringing us? How much money? What's he bringing to the city besides eventually, as she put it, an assessment to the residents of Baldwin Park? You people just can't get it for nothing. I don't know what's the matter with you, but you're not on city council. You don't work for none of us residents. Also, why do you need so many sprinklers? You got some Mickey Mouse pipes up there, and I'm referring to the people that suggested to put it up there. Must be a half an inch. I don't know what you water with it, but sure ain't the big trees. You know, you flood one area, but you don't flood the rest of it. What's the matter with you guys? Or I should say, you council and you other people. I'll tell you, every time I come, one of these days, I hope you people get it all together. I really do. But I doubt it. Because you guys are just like every other city council in this country. You want to put an assessment to us? That's what you do. You bring in this gentleman over here, have him bring you something else. So what? You can add an assessment to pay for it. You don't have any money. That boy, let me tax that American dollar. Anyhow, they don't care. You guys act like we got water that'll last us 50,000 years. Well, let me tell you, maybe you, in our lifetime, we have water, but sooner or later, we won't have any. Why? Because you got 50,000 sprinklers just in Ramona. I'm going to count them, and I'm going to bring you guys a count. I might need the police department to scan behind me so that I won't get hit by anybody, but I'm going to count every one. Everywhere you put sprinklers, I'm going to count them. I'll tell you one thing. You got more sprinklers over there than you probably residents of Baldwin Park. That's how bad it is. What's the matter? You tore trees out, you put these other bushes in, now you're over-watering everything. What's the matter? You don't need 15,000 sprinklers in one section. Oh, my God. What a waste of time.
All right, thank you. Moving on, public communication.
Good evening. I'm Ken Woods, business owner and resident. We got a lot of things going on in the city. Do we really want to get into the utility business? Do you have any idea how complicated that's going to be? Do you think we are able to handle that kind of complication? We're not utility-trained people. And I, for one, will opt out immediately. My savings for my business will be $36 a year. I can't gamble $36 on what might happen when this program takes a poop. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on with public communication. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor Lozano, Mayor Pro Tem Rubio, council members, city staff, and the community of Baldwin Park. My name is Daniel Levanos. I am your city ambassador from One Legacy Donate Life. I just want to inform our cities about what the transplant community has been doing these past couple of months. We received wonderful news from the United Network for Organ Sharing, UNOS for short. It is a nonprofit scientific and educational organization that has administered the only organ procurement and transplant network in the United States and was established by the United States Congress in 1984 and is located in Richmond, Virginia. According to UNOS, there were on average 92 transplants performed daily last year and gave us a total of 33,610 for the year of 2016. The American Association for Tissue Bank, AATB, also gave us some good news in raising the number of tissue and cornea donations from 50 to 75. One Legacy is a nonprofit organization dedicated to saving lives through organ, eye, and tissue donation, serving 7 Southern California counties. Currently, our national wait list for the gift of life is 117,640 Americans, 21,000 in the state of California alone. One person can save the lives of 8 people through organ donation, and through cornea and tissue donation can enhance the lives of 75 people or more. Sadly, we lose 20 patients daily waiting for the gift of life, and every 10 minutes someone is added to this list. To register for organ donation, you can go to our website, www.donatelifecalifornia.org. Si habla español, www.donavitacalifornia.org. Our 15th annual Donate Life Run Walk was successful in attracting over 13,000 supporters in the importance of organ, eye, and tissue donation, and in support of all our donors and donors' families who gave the gift of life. There were 17 civic and district officials that participated in our Mayor-a-thon challenge, and our ambassadors collected 152 city and county proclamations this year, and all proclamations were displayed at the Run Walk. We'd like to thank the City of Baldwin Park for your city proclamation and our DMV Donate Life California campaign. American Idol Scott McIntyre performed and released a new song and video, Hope is Rising, a story of his 2 transplant kidney experience. Also, One Legacy unveiled our 15th annual Donate Life Rose Float, a gift of time. I don't have a photo, but I'll be back in a few months to let you know how you can be part of our gift of time float. I am a liver transplant recipient, and I received my gift of life on December 27, 2003, the greatest gift I ever received from a stranger. It's an honor to be a One Legacy ambassador, educating our communities to donate life. We are making progress expressing the importance of organ donation through our transplant community, our annual Donate Life Run Walk, our annual Donate Life Rose Parade Float, and our biannual Donate Life Transplant Games of America, showing that lives do matter. Thank you, Mayor Lozano, Mayor Pro Tem Rubio, council members, city staff, and the community of Baldwin Park for giving me this opportunity to announce what One Legacy's mission is. Saving and healing lives through organ, eye, and tissue donation comforts the families we serve.
Thank you.
And inspires the community to donate life.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good
I want to
cause.
add to that real quickly. You know, everyone, I always brag. It's not a brag, but you know that I'm a donor too, right? A registered donor. And I always encourage everyone to do that. And I want to take this time to just add to the fact that because we issued driver's license to undocumented individuals, the donor, registry has benefited greatly from all the new registries. So, I know that a lot of people are not happy, but undocumented individuals that become licensed have had accidents and have been able to save a lot of lives. So thank you to all of them as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. Move along with public communication. Wow, my God, that's crazy. That is so true. It's a good cause.
Greg Tuttle, business owner. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I heard this electric thing. I got to say something real quick. Okay. BS. I says, you come in with a business that doesn't have a track record, and you're going to do this $63,000 or $65,000 study, whether you're going to save money or not. I don't call that. You don't do that kind of thing in business. Get the track record. Wait till you get a track record. Talk to Anaheim over there. They have their own utility. The reason they have that is because Disneyland owns the whole city. Okay, now going on, I want to thank the police department, Mike Taylor and Cynthia. They did a hell of a job over there, and it was a good turnout over there, so I appreciate that. Now over to another thing here. I sent Chief Taylor some pictures. You guys discussed it here real quick up there. About the park, Barnes Park and Hilda Solis. When they lock up the restrooms, people defecate and urinate in there. I have pictures that I showed Chief Taylor. Now, Manny Carrillo says he has cameras over there, and they monitor them. I don't see how they're monitoring them because they're not catching the people. I have trash. I went by and took pictures of trash. I showed Mike Taylor that too. These things need to be monitored maybe by the police department so when they can see this, they can apprehend the people. We also have people smoking dope over there at lunchtime when these kids are eating these lunches that are supplied by the city or the Parks and Rec. This needs to stop. You got cameras, use them. If you don't have the cameras working, then get them working. Then the other thing that Sid Masavi, this is great. I went through 5 months. This guy has charged the city $308,601.56. Thought he had a $120,000 contract. How is that possible? How could our staff let this go through? I'm amazed that this has happened. Now, I just spent, with Christy, and she'll verify, I spent $809 on public request. Over half of that is Sid Masavi's invoices and everything else, because I'm going to get to the bottom of it. This stuff is going to stop with this Sid Masavi. He got out of here the last time when he had sexual harassment charges. Now we bring him back and he's stealing city money because he pays all the city officials on the when they do for their campaign funds. This has got to stop. Just like he gave you $1,000 over there for your party. This stuff's going to stop. This payoffs are going to stop. Sid Masavi, $23,000 for the medium over here, landscaping. The Walnut Park thing is a joke. He's doing median landscaping, charging $13,000, $23,000, $22,000. This is a joke. This has got to stop.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tuttle. All right, move on with public communication. See no further interest, I now declare the public communication closed. Alrighty. Okay, so we have the consent calendar items. Consent calendars from 1 through 9. Council members wishing to pull any item?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, Councilman Cruz Baca.
Number 4 and 5.
Poll number 9.
What's that?
Number 9.
Number 9.
Mayor, I'd like
Yes,
to pull
Councilmember.
item number 2 related to the David Salcedo case.
Okay. All right, so at this point...
Mayor, move approval for item 1, 3, 6, 7, and 8.
Thank you very much, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. I'll second. All right, so at this point, we'll go to item number 2, is the rejection of claim. Any objections? Oh, yeah, any objections? Sorry about that. All right, seeing none at this point, thank you, legal counsel. Item 2, requested by Councilmember Monica Garcia, the rejection of claims.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to go ahead and abstain from this item because I wasn't part of the decision to terminate David Salcedo, so I'm going to abstain from this.
I'll go ahead and abstain myself as well. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and move. So at this point, there's 2 objections. So Madam City Clerk will take roll call for this one.
Well, can I just say for the record that you guys are abstaining because you didn't have a decision-making in letting him go, but we did not have a decision-making in hiring him, and yet we're being sued as well. So I think that as a city, it sends a bad message when someone's trying to sue us and we don't band together as a city. I think it doesn't show good faith in terms of trying to take care of our city. Thank you, Mayor.
Right,
Also, I believe that it's because you're not, you, Mayor Lozano, and neither is Councilmember Garcia being mentioned in the lawsuit. So I think that we should all go ahead and make a motion to pass for the rejection of this claim.
All right, so Madam City Clerk, at this point, we're going to go.
So, member,
Was there a motion made?
The motion is, there was an objection by Councilmember Monica Garcia, so the vote is to delete the two. I'm also as well, deleting our names from them.
okay, Councilmember Monica Garcia,
I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Mayor Manuel Lozano,
Will abstain.
Councilmember Cruz Baca,
Yes, I want to go ahead with the rejection of his claim.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco,
Vote to reject the claim.
Mayor Pro Tem Susan Rubio.
I vote to reject the claim against the City of Baldwin Park from former Chief Salcido. Thank you.
All right, so at this point, the motion passes with a 2-3 vote. All right, so we'll go to item number 4, which is requested by Councilmember Cruz Baca, the contractual annual rate adjustments for solid waste fees due to CPI increase. Councilmember Cruz Baca.
I would like to bring this back, please. I need to review it a little further. I didn't have a chance to take a look at it fully as to how this is going to impact our residents and our city and our businesses as well. So I'd like to bring it back to the next council meeting.
All right, so at
I
this
will
point,
second it.
There's a second. Any objections? See none, so move. Will be moved over.
Mayor, may I clarify something, please?
Yes.
Who moved to vote on the second item?
Ricardo Pacheco, Councilmember Pacheco, Councilmember Cruz Baca, and myself to reject Salcido's claim, abstaining.
But who made the motion first? I'm sorry.
The motion was by Councilmember Monica Garcia.
No, well, I pulled the item and I'm abstaining from this item.
We motion you.
It was Ricardo Pacheco first making the motion.
Well, I guess what's not clear was who made the motion to reject
Because
it.
after she rejected, we needed somebody to make a motion to approve, so I wasn't clear on who made the motion to approve, and then we voted.
I will make a motion. If it's unclear, I will make a motion to approve, to reject the claim against the city by former Chief David Salcedo.
I second.
Thank you very much.
All right, any objections? Well, okay,
Well,
this
I'll
is for
second it,
clarification,
and
right?
then
That's what we're doing.
First, second, and then.
We need to go through the process again then.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, the motion was to reject the claim by David Salcido.
That is correct.
And it was made by Councilmember Baca, and who was it seconded by?
I seconded.
And then the vote was 3 in favor, 2 abstentions, the abstentions being Mayor Lozano and Councilmember Garcia.
That's correct.
All right, okay, so we'll go now to item number 5, which is requested by Councilmember Cruz Baca.
So did we vote for 4 to be able to be taken?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes, number 5, that's fine. Approval of an amendment to the agreement with the Learning Enrichment After School Program, Inc., for the after school super programs. This is Councilmember Cruz Baca.
Yes, this is a wonderful program, and I'm very happy to see that some of our kids will be able to have a supper or an evening meal. It's wonderful, but I have a couple of questions, and I guess I ask you.
Yes, ma'am.
Manny Carrillo.
Yes.
I was asked by several staff members that are already served some of the lunches that they would like to know how they can apply to probably work on the supper program as well. So they said that they had asked and that it was unclear. So is there going to be a posting or something so either staff that's already working or outside residents that would like to serve or work on that supper program so that they can apply for it?
Yes, it's my understanding that the existing staff will continue to work the supper program.
Okay, but if there are people that are working the lunch program that would work the supper program, do they apply for it, or are they going to be asked to do the supper program?
I will have to double check with staff depending on their availability. A lot of the summer staff work for the school district, so they may or may not be available after school. So this is an evening program, so I'll have to coordinate the details with staff, but most likely we will ask the staff members to work. We probably have about 20 staff members currently working in the summer lunch program.
Okay, thank you. And the other one is, and it's only because I would like to see some healthy meals, and I know that sometimes that's not the case. But I would like to really see if we can have some choices of some healthy meals, especially since it's in the evening. and see what there is there available. I know that the meals are brought in, correct?
Yes, the meals are brought in, and all of the meals are prepared by the government standards, the USDA standards. So they are well balanced and meet the calorie content and everything else pertaining to a healthy meal.
Okay. I want to be sure that they have
Absolutely.
a healthy meal at the end, that it's not just like nachos and cheese
Oh, no.
or whatever, nachos or whatever you call that. I want to be sure that they've got a good meal. I know
Yes.
that I read your report, and it did say it included some type of milk or a dairy product and so
Yes.
forth, and fruit and so forth. So I want to be sure that we follow those standards.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All righty.
So I make a motion that we approve item number 5, which is the approval of the an amendment to the agreement with the Learning Enrichment After School Program, Inc. for the
Second.
after-school supper program.
All right, there's a second by Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. Any objections? See none, so move. All right, we'll go over to Vice Mayor Susan Rubio, item 9, which is approves the 5-year capital improvement project CIP budget for fiscal year 2017-18 to 2021-22.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
No, I just want to clarify for public knowledge and, of course, for ourselves to make sure that the residents know that this is an item that's been ongoing and has been discussed in several meetings, and we just discussed the final version of this plan in a special study session upstairs. So I'm just pulling it just to notify the residents that we're not just passing it. We've had really in-depth conversations and gone item by item. And so with that, Mayor, I want to make a motion to approve.
All right, second by Councilmember Cruz Baca. Any objection? See none, so move. All righty, we'll go to item number 10. Can we move it to the following meeting?
Yes.
Number 10. All right, so I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. Item 11, let me just go through this real quick. The designation of a sister city to the municipality of Nochislan de Mejia, Zacatecas, Mexico. They're going to be here at the next meeting. Apparently, the mayor's going to be out here on the 26th, trying to see if they could sign that. I told them as long as the documentation is there and it's reviewed at the following meeting. Al Contreras, thank you very much. I send off the sister city form that you provided for me. So if they get that done, they'll bring it and they'll be here at the following meeting. We're talking to the reps from Baldwin Park. They would have been here, but they told me today that they all work during the day, not available. So they want to know.
I was going to ask Mayor if you can ask him, so if we can get to know who these people are, I would love it.
They
Thank
said
you.
they'll be here at the following meeting, so just to let them know. All right, thank you
Mayor?
very much. Yes, it's the only.
I'm sorry, are we at the completion here? Or?
No, not yet. Okay, we have under council communication, we have a request by Councilmember Garcia for discussion and consideration as follows up to the previously agenda items. Councilmember Garcia is requesting a regular report from Public Works related to street improvements and from the Police Department related to public safety.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes, well, related to the public safety report, it'd be nice to get an overview. One thing we don't get here in the city is we don't get like comp stats. We've never really received comp stats. You know, back in 2003, 14 years ago, when I worked for the city of Los Angeles and worked very closely with LAPD, we would get weekly reports on what was happening in the neighborhood. And I'd love to see, even if it's a monthly report and it can be very high level, it doesn't have to get into the weeds, but just to have some idea of what's happening in the community and just how we're deploying our resources. And I know I've requested this in the past, and I know that other council members have requested it as well. So if we can have our chief, Mike Taylor, produce that would be great. And then as far as Public Works, let's see. We've already received updates on the median project, so that's fantastic. And then the CIP project, so that's great. We've also received the lists regarding the alley improvements. So, that's wonderful information. I would just encourage, if we can keep that flowing. And, the other item is, and I appreciate, Sam, that you've stepped into this position as interim Public Works Director. But we haven't talked about going out for a permanent Public Works Director. We haven't posted the position as far as I'm aware. So I think it would be important for us to take that item up, and start looking, because it's something that we've intended to do, and I think we need to start doing.
Mayor?
Ready yet? Is Councilman Ricardo Pacheco?
Just on a similar note there, I have concerns for Public Works. As far as our overall city landscape, if we could kind of take a look at it closer and do more cleanup, there's areas that really need attention throughout city property, and I think we need to really focus more on that. In particular, and I know I've discussed this with staff, but in front of on Ramona Boulevard and Main, on the area near those shopping centers, we need to improve that landscaping. And right now, it's just all weeds that I know the staff has kind of just plowed over it, but we need to have a landscaping plan there, and I think we need to do maybe similar to what Rome Project has done on their landscaping. If you could just similarly bring it down from that side of the street, from the medical center down to the old Knowles Pharmacy, where I know that's not the contracted work that that the contractor's doing right now on the medians, but I think that it's city property, and I think that we should improve it and immediately start to bring it up to the level that it should be. And then also to follow up on the Barnes Park and the, in particular, the Hilda Solis Park, if PD could start to do more patrols, that is a sore area that I think the city council members and the community have complained to us about. There are kids, it looks like they're doing criminal activity there. I think there just maybe some more patrolling and to look at that. And if you could get to us, let us know with all the cameras in general that we have in the city, where, how are they being monitored, who's looking at them when you find some criminal activity, how are those being addressed? So if we could kind of look at that and get back to city council members on what is going on in that area. All right, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else?
Yes, I would
Councilmember
just like to
Zuluaga?
add to what Councilmember Pacheco said. I think that if we look at the cameras and make sure that they're working, because from what I understand from some of the people that spoke to me about the concerns there at that park, mostly residents that live right near there that don't want to go to that park anymore, the cameras aren't working. So, or they've been torn down by the kids, unless they were replaced in the week and a half that I spoke to a couple of the residents. So I would like to see if there's some way that we could either replace those cameras and make them vandal-proof, or whatever you want to call it, and also to be sure that not only that there's extra patrol, but for people to come forward and to be able to not be afraid, even staff when they're serving the lunches there or whatever, if they see something that's going on, I would really recommend for them to come forward, even if it's anonymously, speak to Chief Taylor, speak to yourself, Manny, or to some staff member that might say, look, there's some kids over there that are smoking pot and the children are having lunch, or whatever it happens to be. So I would really like that. That unfortunately, that park has always had a problem, and let's fix it. I know we can. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, Sam, just want to make sure that we follow up with what was requested here tonight about the streetlights, because some of them definitely can be really challenging and just waiting there for the time lapse. I want to also see if we could check into with the city of Irwindale. Gotten complaints, and of course, we know that the trucks, I don't know how long before they stop coming down on Olive Street. There's a resident there that's complaining that their daughter has asthma, and that's kind of really elevated that even more so now. So I know that they have the actual vehicle or truck that cleans up, but there's still dust. All the vehicles go by the beginning opportunity. All the vehicles are just full of dust, which of course it's making its way into some of the apartment units in that particular area there. So if we could check, do we have an idea how long before they stop riding through there? Yes.
I'm a complaining resident. I was just sharing with them that it's,
Yes.
well, first of all, it's getting really out of hand, and
Yeah,
we had
totally.
a discussion earlier with the CEO about, first of all, it was always supposed to be on the Los Angeles side,
Right.
and they're not going anywhere. They're blocking the entire street, and they have us waiting there until they decide to move the street sweeper and the trucks. But I know Councilmember Cruz Baca and I think it was Sam and several
And
other
Amy.
individuals, they all met with the residents today and some of the interested parties. You want to share how that meeting went, please?
Yes, we did. I got a call a couple of weeks ago, Sam, and from some residents that were very, very concerned. It was on Thursday or a Friday, I contacted Shannon because it was very serious.
Yeah.
Amy and Sam went out there and did see that the street was in real bad shape from all the traffic of the trucks. Today, they sort of had like a little meeting. I invited Sam and Amy, the engineer from the city of Irwindale, the gentleman representing United Rock, and who was the other gentleman that was there as well, Sam?
They were both with United Rock.
Oh, they were both. And so they shared a lot. They heard all the concerns. There were quite a few people that met with them this afternoon. There were a lot of concerns. I don't know if it's the same lady that you spoke to. She's an older lady. The daughter was there. They were concerned about some of the dust getting in because the windows are open and they don't turn on their AC at night. The traffic, while we were standing there, Amy and I and Sam, the trucks were like flying on Olive. So anyway, so to make a long story short, we did. Sam is going to put a letter together, and so to the city of Irwindale with all the concerns. The people will be receiving 4 vouchers a month to have their cars. Their car washed.
Okay.
And there are some concerns about some of the air quality and so forth, which Amy's going to check into that. So we are checking. Sam, is there anything that I forgot about the meeting today?
Well, the United Rock PR person is assuring us that the work will be completed by December. So the road that is going to be giving them access to LA is being constructed now, and that work will be completed in December. Once that access road is done, the gate at Olive gets closed.
You're saying until December?
In December.
Are they going to put up with that all the way through there? Wow.
So,
that's pretty crazy, you guys. It really, you know what? Somehow, let's get them to stop Saturdays, because even on Saturdays, now I run up the Santa Fe Dam all the time. It's incredible what these guys. As a matter of fact, they hit a car, and then they got into some altercation with someone along that walkway there. But somehow they got to stop. I mean, this is crazy. It's really 6 days out of the week that these people are literally being exposed to particles that we don't know what it potentially will end up with some of these youth that are there, let alone some of the seniors that are there. So let's find out. Can they stop Saturday?
Mayor, I
I'll tell you, hold on. They're
ahead.
driving in there like they don't give a hoot. Okay, they could care less. It's not an affluent community, so they wouldn't be doing this elsewhere. And somehow we have to, even if it means me going over to City Council in Irwindale, somehow we're going to have to do it. Because the people there are getting ready to, well, never mind, I'll talk about that
Mayor,
after. But
well,
go ahead.
I was going to add I'm so sorry, council member, about the vouchers. See, they want to give us vouchers for the cleaning of the cars, but what's happening is they don't secure the rocks. I was personally behind the truck, and the rocks are flying, hitting my windshield and my car,
True.
so they're going to cause damage to cars. And so I don't think that a car wash is good enough. They need to figure out how to secure the rocks a little bit better.
Well, but I think,
Okay.
oh, go ahead.
No, but Mayor, I just want to let you know that part of and I know that this is a long time coming, but they are going to put up a higher wall.
Right, that we
They
know.
are going to landscape all of that. They're bringing in trees, which I know they're hoping that will help some of the dust. They are going to look into that once the road is finished on Los Angeles Street, that they will be watering the pit or whatever so that the dust will sort of subside for a while, or that it won't be as bad as it is. They're going to be starting the wall for the residents over on Park Place, which their
Right.
backyards go on
Right.
from Park Place and Phelan. They're going to start that in September, I think they said.
That's right. They're going to start
September,
it in
so that
September.
wall will be first, and that's going to be done. But they are planning landscaping. They were very attentive. I didn't think that United Rock was going to even listen. In fact, one of the employees from United Rock lives in Baldwin Park, and he understands. So we're hoping that Saturday's a good idea. I ran into a similar problem with the construction that's going on, and everybody heard it practically on a daily basis from me on Alderson, those new buildings that are going on up across the street from me. They were working 7 days a week for 7 months, starting at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Finally, Gus scheduled a meeting so that I could meet with Craig, the developer, and it's really funny that no one knew that they were starting at 5:30, and yet nobody starts before 7 anymore after I had the meeting with them.
Okay.
So that has helped, and I think that the louder we get, I think that there was quite a large group of people there today, the residents and so forth, very little kids, older people of all ages. And I think that sort of sent a message that we're not going to tolerate this. and that car washes are great, but like Vice Mayor Rubio said, it's not gonna cut it. We need to be respected here, and we need to stop
Absolutely.
some of this.
And we got to make sure those trees that they plant are not Charlie Brown type of trees. So we got to make sure, as we had here.
Well, I don't know, but if
Yeah.
it's anything like the landscaping that they put across the street from me, that is, I don't know if you've seen it.
Very
That
nice.
is very beautiful.
Very nice.
The palm trees are lit up. I mean, it's
All the rocks rolling
yes,
through there.
it's beautiful.
All right, so let's follow up on that. I just want to say, at this point, council members have anything else? If not, at this point, I'd like to move for adjournment.
Second.
Any objections? See none, so move. Viva Ballin Park. I am. Sorry, Sam, just kidding, brother.